Hello there, my zealots. This is Joshua coming at you today. So my boy, Victor K.O., again brings up a question that has to be answered. He's like, how many wives can one man have and still be all right with God? He actually brought up Solomon, which is an interesting point. Solomon had 300 concubines, 700 wives. He had a lot. So how do we discern where is the limit of the amount of wives that a person can have? This is a valid and valuable question. Well, I'm going to answer it right here. And the key is that Solomon broke the commandments. He did. He broke them. And I'm going to show you where. We're going to go into Deuteronomy. Where the heck is it? Deuteronomy. Okay. So it says in Deuteronomy, right here, Deuteronomy 17:17. All right, Deuteronomy 17:17 says this. All right, so we're going to start in 16. All right, actually, it's talking about a king. We're going to start in 15, so that way we have context. But thou shalt in any wise set him, and they were talking about a king. They're trying to pick a king, right? King over, okay. Set him king over thee, whom the Lord thy God shall choose. One from among thy brethren shall set thou king over thee. Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother. But he shall not multiply horses unto himself. Don't multiply horses. Don't have a lot of horses. Nor cause the people to return to Egypt to the end that they should multiply horses. For inasmuch as the Lord hath said unto you, ye shall not henceforth return any more that way. Neither shall they multiply wives unto themselves, that his heart turn not away. Neither shall they greatly multiply himself gold and silver. Multiply. Multiply is different than add. This is the thing. Can Solomon have more than one horse? Yes, he can have more than one horse. Can he have more than one piece of gold? Yes, he can have more than one piece of gold. Can he greatly multiply? No, he cannot. And what is the difference? Okay, so let's look in Deuteronomy 12:32. Deuteronomy 12:32 says this: whatsoever thing I command you, do not observe nor whatsoever thing I command you, observe and do. Thou shalt not add thereto nor diminish from it. That word there is Yosef. That means just to add a little bit. Yosef is different than Rabbah. What we just discussed was Rabbah. Thou shalt not multiply. Rabbah. Add is Yosef. You can add all you want to. See, we're not supposed to add to Scripture. That's why it says do not Yosef. But you can Rabbah. You cannot Yosef the word, but you can. So that means you can't even add a little bit. Can you Yosef wives? Yes, you can, because Solomon could have more than one horse. He can have more than one piece of gold. He can also have more than one wife. He just can't he cannot Rabbah, which means to greatly multiply. So how do we denote the difference between Yosef and Rabbah? Well, this is the issue. When I go out, so the way it works is this. If you are looking for wives, additional wives, what you need to do is you have to say, listen, God, I'm going to wait for God to provide me a wife. Okay, that wife is going to be righteous. She's going to understand all Scripture. It's going to be great. When she comes into my life, I then merge with her. We become one flesh, and then we work our lives together. When our lives become unified, and I've proven that I can take care of this wife, then God will gift me with additional wives. Does God actually gift people with additional wives? Heck yeah, he does. And I'll show it to you. It's in Samuel. And in Samuel, Nathan comes to David, and he said, he's basically chastising him because he murdered Uriah, I think his name is, Bathsheba's husband. And then he's trying to show him, he's like, listen, I gave thee thy master's house and thy master's wives unto thy bosom. God gave David wives. He gave him wives to bless him. Did he get them all at once? No, he gave him one wife. When he proved himself worthy to be that husband, a good and righteous husband, then he got another wife. When he can prove that, he had another wife. This is adding to a polygamous relationship. You have one, You prove you're good. You add 2, you prove you're good with that. You add 3, you prove you're good with that. You add 4, you prove you're good with that. This is how you add to. All right? You're adding to it because you can show that you can support those women as they come into your life. If I were to multiply, that would be different. I'd be like, listen, that woman's hot. I'm going to bring her into my family. That woman's hot. I'm going to bring her in and her in and her in and her in and her in. You're not being diligent to make sure that you have the right woman in your life. You're just randomly choosing whatever woman comes around. That's not how you're supposed to do it. So, yes, there is a difference between adding to and multiplying. Okay, so how many wives can you have? Well, we read in Isaiah, I think it's Isaiah, where it talks about you can't, 7 women taking hold of one man, saying, we will eat of our own food, we will wear our own apparel, just let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. So women want their name to be taken, they want their sin to be taken away. There's a limit there, 7. Now you can add to as many wives as you want, and then you say, okay, enough is enough. However, when it comes to concubines, or the women that we were talking about in this spiritual context, where they say, listen, I will eat of my own bread, I will wear my own apparel, just let us be called by thy name to take away my reproach. Those women can say, that man can only cut it off at 7. He can say, listen, I cannot do more than 7. So if a woman can force herself into a concubine situation with a man if he's not willing to marry, just for the welfare of it. Women need a righteous man to take away their sin. So this woman will say, I will do this and I will do this, and just let me be your wife. And he's like, okay, you take care of yourself and I will be your husband. That is a spiritual concubine. And there's a limit of 7 right there. 7. Beyond that, you just add to wives. You add wives until you can't do anymore. And if you're getting to a point where there's too much to handle, you need to stop. And this is how you know that you're adding to and not multiplying. Multiplying would be just adding willy-nilly without figuring out the repercussions or the ramifications of who you're adding to your family. Anyway, I hope this blesses you. This is Joshua, heretic, coming at you. What's up? Check me out, subscribe, live stream Saturdays at 10 o'clock. Click the dingy thingy, subscribe, comment, whatever, share, like. I will talk to you later. You know I love God because I love virtue, justice, and salvation. You guys have a great day. Check it out. Bye.